I hear a lot about soul retrieval, but one thing that will help you do this is to understand you don't need to retrieve anything. I've mentioned this before in other videos, but here's a video just on this. Your soul is fine. It cannot be broken up. You didn't lose any pieces. If you need further proof of this, there is no such thing as time and space. Everything is existing in the same place, the same time, all at once, including you and your very soul. So where's your soul? Why are you having lost pieces? It feels like you're empty, you're hollow. You know something is gone. It's not gone. It's lost inside you. It's blocked. Your blocks are your key here. You want to find and unlock your blocks. What is this? This is going to be your own attitude. This is going to be within things within yourself. This is where we deep dive. This is shadow work. This is why unexpectedly when you have big breakthroughs, it feels like you're all of a sudden whole again and somehow your soul was retrieved. But the truth is you never lost your soul. It was always there completely with you the whole time. You just need to unblock your blocks. You are blocked off from it. In moments of trauma, when things happen, you block yourself off to pieces of your soul because you refuse to accept it. This is why things like forgiveness are key to pick up the pieces of your soul again. Because when you forgive, you release blocks that you created inside yourself when you were living in a trauma, and now you're mad at that person forever. And it's hard, like, not to be. This is why people will get very angry with me when I say things like, nobody actually, like, you have to forgive everybody. Nobody is not deserving of forgiveness. Oh, you're excusing the abuser. No, forgiveness is an energetic situation that unblocks things inside yourself. You don't need to go up to that person and say, yo, Steve, I forgive you for beating me viciously like 3 years ago, like totally forgiven. No, you never need to go up to your abuser again. This is not excusing the abuser. This is not excusing the self, though. It doesn't mean you need to put blame on yourself and go down those rabbit holes where people, oh, you just don't understand. Wait, I get it. We all have tough situations. Maybe yours was so much worse than everybody else's. Irregardless, this does not matter. Your blocks within yourself, if you want your whole soul to come back to you, if you consider yourself an awakening and enlightening being, if you want to rise in vibration and rise in frequency, if you want to retrieve that soul, you need to know that it's not gone anywhere. You have blocks inside you. You can only get rid of these blocks through personal responsibility, okay? And by looking inside yourself and finding your traumas and unblocking them, and that a lot of that is to do with acceptance. Acceptance and forgiveness are the same thing. So accept everything that has happened to you. Look at everything that has happened to you. In the last video, we talked about rising out and expanding, zooming out into awareness for perceptions. This will also help you do that, because when you expand your perceptions, you also expand your ability to remove yourself from blocks, because blocks are the lack of perception. As soon as, chocolate little face, as soon as you see more, the blocks are gone. Because, okay, imagine if you had a tiny river and it's blocked by a dam. But let's say you zoomed out in perception, and this is how perception works. That tiny river that's blocked by that tiny dam, well, now that river is much bigger. Think of flooding the river now. That dam doesn't matter. That block doesn't matter. So you don't need to specifically see things like, oh, the color red really triggers me. Every time I see the color red, I freeze up, right? And this is insert whatever that is for you. Insert your trigger, okay? For me, it's loud noises, okay? And I work on that, but still, I hear a very loud noise, a bang, and now I need to calm myself down because that bang has set me on high alert. Well, that bang can probably be, traced back, and I could find what caused that. And I've done that with many things in my life. And slowly but surely, those triggers now disappear. That's why I can only think of the banging, because the previous ones are gone. Like, you will unlock your blocks by expanding your perception. And this just keeps going, and you can't expand your perception if you have poor me's, oh, well, if you have any of these mind narratives, these mind stories in the way, that's going to limit you on expanding your perception. This is why I always focus on personal responsibility and taking, you know, all about responsibility. Don't ever blame anyone. You are to blame for everything. You are responsible for forgiveness. You're responsible for accepting, regardless what happened in the past, because everything is all happening at the same time. And at this point, if you are keeping yourself locked down by old traumas, then you're the one being the guard now on those blocks. And yes, we also have things that are subliminally messaged into us, that are programmed into us, that are poisoned into us in our food, in our air. Yes. So this is why you have to do your due diligence in fighting against the ones that are emotionally inside of you, because the ones that are emotionally inside of you can be cleared out by just raising your perceptions on things that happened in your past, traumas, anything that sticks in your craw. People even have positive traumas, because any place you find a trauma, you know, your shadow issues, that's where you find your blocks. Okay. And when you find your blocks, you raise the perception, you open up that river, so that tiny dam doesn't matter. You are now washing that tiny dam away. It's going to wash down into the giant river. It's not even going to stay there. It's going to wash away all by itself. Now, did I need to focus on the banging of the loud noise? No, I can raise my perception and it will wash away on its own when I find a root cause to open up a memory. So a certain particular parental yelling at you at a certain time. If you used to get like abused or severely disciplined, if you had any kind of sexual trauma, like all these things create lots of things. Even just having mean bosses, even just having traumatic moments, car accidents, taxes. Dude, we live in a world that's very traumatizing. Even TV can traumatize you. I've never even seen the movie Sophie's Choice, and it haunts me. And it scares me. I know the premise of it, and it haunts me. These are all things that come at us and that we can look into and find peace within the self, which removes the block, which raises awareness, raises consciousness, raises enlightenment, and limit your exposure to outside sources that are going to give you more blocks. They're going to give you more traumas. You have enough inside you already. Instead of watching TV, watch the movie that is inside of you right now. The movie that is your past. Don't dwell on anything. Look at it like a neutral observer, and you will find so many gold nuggets there that are going to release so many blocks and make it a game within yourself to come to a higher and higher place of understanding. Anytime you go, oh, I can't believe Stephanie did that. Oh, Mom, how could you? No, raise your perspective. Go higher and higher and higher. See why they did this. See why. What was their trauma? How were they treated as a child? Okay? Like, there'd be parents right now, like, that would be, oh, discipline. I hear this all the time from other people. Discipline, discipline. Your children aren't very disciplined. Yeah, well, they're also not very traumatized either, so I'll take that. Because trauma comes in all shapes and forms. We don't even realize the things that end up traumatizing us. We are sensitive beings. And once upon a time, people were raised into that, like, oh, you gotta be tough. Well, it didn't matter. Even my parents tried to raise us that way, and because we're millennials, it didn't work. It didn't take. It just traumatized us, because we're not going to toughen up. We're gonna crumble because of that. But that's okay, because now that's the why we're the ones who are looking and seeing that it's not okay to be that crumbled. You know, I've done so much work on myself since I awoke. Like 2012 is when it started, but it was very chaotic. It took years for personal responsibility to take over. But it will, trust me. You just need to give it the chance, and it's one step at a time, one silencing of the self at a time. So every time you make it, I can't believe, oh, well, you know, we all do it all the time. So find those voices, limit them, find the traumas, find the blocks. Your soul is already there, and you will connect closer to it every day the more you raise in perception and awareness. Okay? I believe you can do it. Thanks for watching Transcending Ascension. Talk to you soon.